Softedemy, a project control, engineering and software. Welcome viewers to Softedemy, a project control and engineering software consultancy and academy. If you are facing video speed issue, you can go here and in playback speed, you can just change that one speed from here 0.75, 1.25, 1.15 and 1.75. So also if you have any question, so you can write comments in the below of any video which you are watching, and in the description you can go here. When you open this one more option, you can see here if there are links, and WhatsApp link have been given and two link have been given, store link have been given. So everything will be given in the description of video. If there is any tutorial which have some source of data, so it will be given in the description. So this is the place from the description you can get the link which I have described in the video. We will go to our video, and here our today's content is based on productivity rates and resource allocation in Primavera P6. And every question related to productivity rates we will handle today, and what productivity rates I am using today I will explain you completely, and how it's calculated on the basis of crews I will explain this video. So maybe at the last of the video I will explain some resources and some more questions, so do not miss any second in this video. This video will be very important. After a long time many questions have been asked from many viewers, so I want to create that video that will be based on productivity rates, and I want to clarify all the concepts related to productivity rates. So here my video will be go on. So I have just created some research on that one, so to finalize and to maximize that completely, so we have to completely cover all the theory and all completely the relevant concept related to the productivity rates. So every project manager have a concern with that, and every construction manager or any field like construction, oil and gas, and any field related to the planning and control, so they need some productivity rates. When they consider their resources, they plan their resources, so there should be some productivity, because productivity is important while we have quantity is fixed. So what is fixed in our project? So the quantity is fixed. Like when we consider that what is the fixed in our project, so we can say here quantity is fixed. This one quantity is fixed. This quantity we can consider as it's fixed. So while we're considering a project, its quantity is fixed. So how many types of productivity are there in a project? So there are two types of productivity. One is like you can say unit per hour, and the other one is unit per hour per unit. You can see here this one is hour per unit and this one is unit per hour. So while we considering these both two types, so how can we differentiate? So if a plasterer have 75 square meter work he can do in a day, so a day is equal to 8 hours. So how much work he will done, so what its productivity will be? So its productivity can be calculated by 75 divided by 8, so it will be 9.375. So 75 is the quantity and 8 is hour, so the unit will be square meter per hour, and you can say here square meter per hour this productivity. So if we divide like how much work he will done, like if you consider like hour per square, if you consider reverse that one, so how will be done like that one? So we say that 8 divided by 75, so we will get 0.1067 hour per square meter. So this is what there are two types of productivity. So there may be, when you calculating from your productivity rates, so maybe you multiply wrong or maybe you divide wrong. So you should consider that two types of productivity rates which I have explained here, and these are the basics while you considering any project. Segment 1 have been finished now, and we will continue our segment 2. What is segment 2? So we have to calculate our durations from our resources and productivity rates. So if you want to determine your duration, so this topic is not related to duration, but I will explain you just a little bit. So if you are using your unit per hour, like unit per hour is this one is unit per hour. If you are using this one, so quantity will be divided by productivity rates and crew. So what is the crew? I will explain you later. So in the easy definition, you can say crew is the number of people, like this one is crew, number of people, like you can consider this one. This one is crew, number of crew, this one is crew, this one is whole or crew. So we can consider, so the number are group of the peoples which apply to do a specific work are a crew. So crew can be considered easily from here. So productivity rates, you know definition, and also you can understand the, so you know productivity rates and units and duration also. So now we'll go here next. Productivity is measured in hour per units. So how we'll consider that one? So what will be the formula? The quantity will be divided, multiply with productivity and divided by number of crew. Number of crew I have already explained. So whenever these two will be changed, and these two will be have a different impact on your calculation of duration even, and even the calculation of your budgeted units also. This also impact on that one. I will show you in next segment that what the impact will be. So we'll go to next segment. So in this segment we will discuss about productivity rates if the productivity rates are units per hour, like if they are square meter per hour. So how we'll calculate number of resources, and these are budgeted units. This is also budgeted units. Based on crews, each crew have a different budgeted units. So how we'll calculate this one? We'll divide quantity with productivity rates and duration. So duration is already, you know, it's fixed in Primavera P6. So we can also delete from here. We will not consider the duration from here, because in Primavera P6 duration is fixed. I will show you in Primavera P6 also. Here in Primavera P6, when we'll go here in the general, you can see here duration type from here is easily, you can see from here that duration type is fixed. You can see here fixed duration and units. Easily you can see here. So duration is fixed, so we don't need to just write or divide there, because it's already fixed. So we don't need to calculate duration right there. Duration is another topic I will discuss you in another video. We'll go to next segment, and in this segment how you will get your productivity rates and from where you will get your productivity rates. So what I prefer, so in which company you are working, like if you are shifted to a new company, maybe it's a construction company, or it's oil and gas, nuclear, it may be energy, telecommunication, IT sector, any sector it related to that one, maybe aerospace. So what the sector is, so there must be some historical data, like they have some lesson learned, they have some already created productivity rates because of their labor, their team hired by different subcontractors or by different sources. They have already a resource management right there, and they have productivity rates. So you can get productivity rates from there. So how can you get? There are, I already told you two types. One is your units per hour and the other is hour per units. So there will be some sort of data given already on the basis of crew also. If there is crew, a team of mason, labor, carpenter, steel fixer, scaffolder, and there is a crew for a single work. So also crew based, maybe there is not crew based, maybe there are daily progress reports, and there is different sort of data. So you can combine that data from different type of channels. So I will tell in the last of video how can you combine that data, and you can research on what is the productivity rates of these guys in the previous history of this project. So what is expert judgment? Expert judgment and expert experience. What you have a project manager on site, maybe a project control manager, maybe you are project control manager, because sometimes people who are hired as a project manager or project control manager, so even they do not have any good idea about productivity rates. So they can go in the meeting and they can call a meeting. So in that meeting they can decide easily and sit with a technical team, and they will tell us how much work they will do in a one day. So that is mutual understanding, and with their expert judgment, that how much hour they will take to complete that work and how much the crew will be deployed to do that work. So it's like that one, the source of productivity data, you can get that one. So the third option is that already created some international productivity rates, like I will show you in an upcoming 3-4 minutes. So I will show you that what the productivity rates I have available and how to work with them and how to calculate the data in that one. So that one, the third case, when you don't have any data from your expert judgment and historical data in your project, so how can you just take data from there, and how can you utilize? So there is some another information like sometimes you have a productivity rates and you don't have any crew mentioned there, but there is crew, so you will equally divide that productivity rate to each crew. Like if there is mason, labor, and if there is a steel fixer, so equally you will divide each one. So maybe you can aggregate that one. Maybe you can if there is a 0.75 mason, so there will be 1.5 labor. So you can make an aggregate for a crew. So it's like different one. Maybe somewhere it's given the man hours also. So I will consider that what is the best practice. I can consider that while measuring with your experience or historical data, while measuring, there is another method. So you can go in the field and in the site data, you just observe for 1 month and 2 months, or your planning manager, planning engineer, or site planning engineer or supervisor, he will observe for whole month that what is the productivity of this person per day. So he will just aggregate for weekly, monthly. So he can aggregate that this person how much he can do work for per hour. So that productivity can be easily calculated, and that one will be also it's a practical experience, and by observation you can get this. We can also call observational productivity rates. So this can be also implemented, and that will be good for that work and that company also. So they can get a good cost control, and they can get good forecasted you can see forecasted resources at that project. So now we will go for the productivity rates. We'll discuss about the productivity rates and what are productivity rates available in my productivity rates bank, and I will discuss you how to calculate your productivity rates, and later on we'll discuss some questions from different people asked from us and on different places by our team and by email, by WhatsApp. So we have combined some questions, so I will answer that question. Do not miss the video till the end of this video. So that will be very important. I will go ahead in the productivity rates. What the productivity rates I have available? There are 3 type of format like Excel, PDF, Word. So I have just distributed into 3 parts. So all productivity rates: fast, average, slow performance. So what is in it? So when I will open that file, so in that file you can see here, and I have industries like bridges, building, construction, health and healthcare, IT, engineering projects. So these are the industries related to that project. So when we collapse to the other end, so it will be collapsed again and again. I will just see and will review only 1 or 2 productivity rates, so we can discuss that what the type of productivity rates given. So in this type of productivity rates, it's given as a unit per hour. You can see here unit per hour, it's meter square per hour. So it means we have given with a quantity per unit. So what we have to do that one, so we have to divide with quantity. For example, we have 50 square meter of work, so we'll divide with this productivity. This is 1.8 slower, so what we'll do, 50 divided by 1.8. if we have only one crew, so we'll apply 27.778. so with this 27.778, what is it? It's just hours. You can see meter square per hour, so we have 27.77 hour to complete that one work. So 1.8, this one is like 1.8, there will be crew in it, maybe 1.8. You can see maybe this work is block work, so 1 is labor. Okay, we consider 1 is labor and 0.8 is the mason. So we can consider by combining these two both one, so we have 1.8 productivity. So this is like this one. So crew can be created by adding your all the productivity in combining your all crew performance. Like if there are 3 peoples, you can convert that 1.8 in 3 peoples, that crew. So this is the basic calculation you should know. So what is slower, average and faster? So it may be if they do the work faster, so how much their productivity can be increased. So average and faster, so it's like that one. All the work had been distributed. There are hand work and machinery work have been there. So this one, all productivity rates and fast, average, slow have been given here. So I will not save this file. So what the next one, this is already practical work has been done in the different oil and gas sector. This one is barrier work. This is a calculation of productivity. I will tell you later on. So drainage work on roads. So you can consider that one for the roads. So there are some equipment, like equipment we have machineries on projects. So there is specific what their productivity rates, what are their productivity rates for that one. So we'll consider that one, like this loader can do the 350 cubic meter per hour. So this is like that one. If we have like we consider 700, so what will be its productivity, how many hours it will take to complete that work? 700 divided by 350, so 2 hours it will take to complete that cubic meter per hour. So you can multiply that productivity rates with a factor, like you can reduce that, like if there are 350, so I say that this loader will take more time, and this guy is not working good, its efficiency is not good, its output is what we are giving input. So this guy's input is, because also it's dependent on equipment operator how it work faster. So it's also dependent, we say that this guy can do only 25% work, so its productivity rate will be dropped to 87.5. and what type of productivity rate is unit per hour. So do not forget that one. So this is about the equipment, all the equipment we use in the construction sector, even in road and whatever. So this sheet is related to that one. So we'll go on the next sheet. What is that? The next sheet is so this is International Research Center PR machines. So I will open that one file. So this is the research already done, that how much there is a bucket size of an excavator, and how much time in 1 hour he can just do in 30 seconds if it's doing one bucket size. So in what will be done after 60 minutes. So after 60 minutes maybe he can perform 90 loads or 80 loads. So if he performing in 90 and 80 loads, so maybe what will be its productivity. If there are 90 loads it's doing, like if there are 45 seconds or 1 minute, 45 seconds he is doing one bucket. So after 90 buckets, so it may achieve 120 cubic meter per hour, but it's not possible. But it's about the efficiency may be higher. So what I consider 60 or 75. So this is some research. So how backhoe loader performs, this is some different researches have been combined in this productivity rates. So you can also consider that one if you are just going for any research. So there is an international productivity rates list. It's the similar like I have already done, but it's in a very you can say in different sheets it have been divided. So the completely activity list, like bulk excavation, concrete finishing, concrete placement, full floor finishes, curb and paving. So it's all productivity rates have been given. So I will show you something like similar. It's slow, average, fast. It's the similar which I have discussed you before on the top. So also labor rates in UAE. So UAE, the country having more construction, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, all the Gulf countries having a lot of construction. So this is the labor productivity rates, like mostly practicing in UAE, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. So it can be used here, carpentry, block work. This is the basically the building work. So this productivity rate. So I can discuss you if there is like one productivity rate I will discuss you here. So because every sheet have a different type of productivity rates, so that's why I am discussing every type of productivity rates. So there will be no productivity rate left, so which will be not discussed. So that the video may be longer, but I will explain you all type of productivity rates. So this is like tiling work. So it's square meter per day. So if there is square meter per day, we have to calculate for hour. So first of all, we can convert that one to hour. This one is 1.75 square meter per hour. This one is 1.75 square meter per hour. So there we have one mason and one helper. So how much one mason and one helper, what the productivity rate it will be? I will just go here is equal to 1 divided by 1.75 and 1 divided by 1.75. So this is productivity rate. If we have a 50 square meter work, so how much it will take? So what we will do? We will multiply or divide. The question is from my viewers. So here I have just divided with it's square per day. I have divided with crew, so that will be hour per unit. It will be not quantity per hour or unit per. It will be not unit per hour. It will be hour per unit. So there it will be multiply like 50 into 0.57142. So what will be divided, like this is 28.57 hours, so 28.57 hour for mason. Here it will be written for mason, and what will be helper, and it's the similar like same it will be for helper also. We'll copy paste here. So we need to also verify like I will multiply by this one, it's L M. So there will be some issue. I will multiply. So it's the similar. So what the productivity rate will be if I want to divide. So the formula is 1.75 divided by 1. I will, because 1 do not in the denominator, if there is 1, so the answer will be same, but I want to show you, you have to divide the number of mason. Maybe there will be 0.5, so you have to also divide here 0.5. So 1.75 for both one. So we consider that one 1.75 for both one. So here if we have 50 cubic 50 square meter of like we have 50 square meter of work, how much time this mason and caliper will take? So is equal to 50 divided by 1.75. The answer will be 28.57143. Here we have divided. You can see here we have multiply. So there are two type of productivity rates which I have explained you in start. So this is the mostly used in the labor productivity rates in the UAE. So we'll close this one. You can get that file in the description of my video. It have been given. If you have any trouble, you can contact through our WhatsApp number that have been also given in the description. Also our website, it have been given www.softedemy.com. You can go also that on our WhatsApp number have been also given. If you have any trouble, you can also email to us. So next one is productivity rate in Gulf region. I will open here, and this is also something different. I will also want to show you that one because maybe you have file later on this one. So maybe you have some questions. So here, when we will divide, this one is unit per man days. So if I want to calculate man days, one man day is 8 hours in maybe 10 hours. So man day will consider 8 hours. So it will be 8 multiplied by 2, it's 16. But here also it's unit per man days. So if I want to calculate how many man days it will be take, so quantity will be divided by, because it's unit per hour, unit per man days as a time. So we'll divide this one. So we will get our total man days. Like this one also the similar. This one is our total quantity divided by productivity rate is 14.9687. So this one productivity rates have something crew like farm work labor. So 3.19 total you can see meter square per day will be performed by 5 farm work labor. So this is the total productivity rates like calculated for each one. Also MEP Productivity Norms, it's also similar like that one. You can say this is a running meter per man day. So it's also the similar. If we have 15 of quantity, we will divide it by 7.5. It will be divided here. It will be not multiplied by here. So this one is also completed. I will go in the next one. So what is the next one? We have productivity sheet. I will open that one. We'll see what is in it. This is also the similar, but here we have a quantity and we have just crew. Like this quantity 100 will be done by 16.67. And what its rates is? It's in hour, 16.67 hours. So if you want to convert that in man days, 16.67 divided by 8, so we have 2.08 days to complete that 100 cubic meter work, and that will be done by general labor. So how many crew it will take? Like there is single crew, like if we consider 3.33, we also consider that one. So this is the complete crew, like 16.67, 3.33 and 3.33 that one. So it's not written like here what is its unit, like it's in man days or man hours. So what I consider right here, because of 250, so it's too much, like 250. The work is also 100 meter square. So what we'll consider here, 2 hours for 100 kg. So it's in hours. So it similarly look like it's hour. So this one is like completely what we consider and what will be multiply with the your quantity. So if we change like 16.67 for 100, so what will be for 200? How much it will be for 200? So what we will consider here is equal to 16.67. If we consider 16.67 divided by 100, so if we consider that one like 1.1667, so this one is for one cubic meter. So if we have 200 of cubic meter, so we'll multiply by this one because it's also hour by quantity. So we have 33.33. So if we have like 16.6667, so how can we just make a productivity like we have a quantity, divided by hour. So how can we get that one? So the easy formula to calculate that one is to just go here and quantity divided by 16.67. so we have a 6 quantity per hour. So what we'll do, we'll divide with 200 is equal to 200 divided by 6. So we'll get the same productivity rate, but this time we have a different type of productivity rate and that unit is different. So this is the simple concept. Productivity rate for sheet also have been done. So what the next is, we have all projects productivity rates. We'll open that sheet. What is in it? It's the similar like that one. The sheet like also this is a productivity rates. You can consider that one. This is for 10 hours. This is hourly productivity rates. So there will be no big mess. So this is hourly productivity rate. Like if farm work, like square meter. If a carpenter is working, so how much he will do in a day? 12 square meter will be done by 2 carpenters and 1 helper. So what will be its ratio? It will be like we can say here 2 carpenter will done 2 divided by 12. So they will perform 0.1667 in 1 hour, and 1 helper will perform 1 divided by 12. It will perform 0.0833. So this one is productivity rate. So if we have 24 square meter work, what we will do is equal to 24 multiplied by, if we consider that one, multiply by 0.1667. So we have we required 4 number of carpenter because 2 number of carpenter required for 12. So if we have 24, so we required 4. So also helper will be 2 here. So if I have just divided by 2 divided by 12, so if we consider it reverse like 12 divided by 2, if we consider that like it's 6. So how we'll do that one? If we have 24 of square meter of work, so we'll divide 24 divided by 6. So because there are 2 type of productivity rates, so it's like that one. So it's similar in complete shape. So we'll go here in one more sheet, that will be a final sheet, and then we'll go in the Primavera P6. How can we do that one and how to perform that one? It will be easy from there. So I will go in the next and my last sheet which I have to discuss in PDF. So there are also PDF a lot of productivity rates. So there will be some question. I will just interrupt you that here some people saying that engineering works we need some productivity rates. So there is some one file. So from here you can get your engineering productivity rates from here. So it have been also always given here that how many man hour required to complete that job. So there is productivity rate for for engineering and design work. So you can get from here for this productivity rate. So there is one remaining, there is standard productivity rates. I have to tell you that one is very important. Division concrete labor, I will just go here. So these are 16 number of divisions. In building maybe 16 or 36 divisions or 18 divisions. There will be a different type of standards, 16 division or 36 maybe. I haven't been confirmed that how many division, maybe 36, but 16 division if there is project, it's BOQ based on 16 division. So it's all distribution of BOQ will be like that one. So if I want to go in the concrete labor, so if I want to see here, if there is like work cost in place including form work, steel grade wall at 200 mm thick, 2400 millimeter high. So what will be its productivity rate? So in this type of productivity rates, crew structure have been given, daily output have been given, man hour. So how this productivity rate will be calculated by this sheet? So I will tell you in my Excel. So there is an Excel sheet. So if I select this one includes 0.5 skilled foreman up to here equipment operator. This is labor and this is non-labor. So I have share use other productivity rates. In some places there are only labor resources and somewhere alone there is machinery. But in this type of divisional base, this is based on BOQ type. So this whole productivity rate is based on BOQ. So every item have been written on the base of BOQ, not like if there is specific concrete work, so there will be only concrete work crew. So it's not like that one. This is completely based on BOQ. So all the references of complete crew structure have been related to that BOQ cost and BOQ productivity. So here I will go in my Excel sheet. And in that Excel sheet, I will write in the sequence like what skilled foreman is 0.5 and carpenter is 10, laborer is 5 and 0.250 is cement finisher, 1 is equipment operator. So I have written in the sequence as written in the crew structure. So after crew structure, we have given a daily output. Daily output means 8.7 cubic meter concrete have been done in 8.7 have been done in 1 day. So how much in 1 hour? 8.75 divided by 8 hour a day. So we have 1.0875 cubic meter have been done by this set of crew in 1 hour, and in 8 hour this crew will be done 8.7. So first of all, I will see that how much man hour will this work will be done, how much man hour it will take. I will just divide by this one, this H column. I will assign this man hour. I have to calculate. I have to calculate total man hours. So total man hour will be calculated like this one. So this is 15.402. So you can see here 15.402 have been calculated already there in the sheet. So this man hour has been calculated by this one each crew 0.5 divided by 1.0875. That is our 1 hour productivity rate. So how to calculate your productivity rates, as I have explained in the start of my video, like hour per unit and unit per hour. So how to calculate that one, that productivity rates from this sort of data. So to do that one, so here is like we can total here, we can total, we don't need to total here. So this productivity rate have been done. So this one productivity rate we can say here hour per unit. This productivity rate is hour per unit. We'll calculate also 1.0875 divided by 0.5. So this one is just a reverse of that one above. So this one is like this one, and this is 2.175, and this one is completely productivity rate. That one will be unit per hour. So if we have productivity like 8.7, so if we have 2 times of this productivity, like we have we can say here 17.4. If we if our quantity is 17.4, so what will be its if our quantity is 17.4, so what hours we required for each crew? So how can we calculate that one? Is equal to this one, we have hour per unit, we will multiply with this one with the 17.4, the 8 hours we required to complete that work. So because it's double, so a half man in a day, so it will take 4 hours one day, 4 hours the other day. So I will just do one thing. I will assign a dollar sign in the front, and in the between 6 I will just go and drag down up to E. So the similar, you can see here the total man hour are 268. So I have applied this productivity rate hour per unit, and if I want to apply the other one, so I will just go here 17.4 divided by 22.175. So it's also equal the same. So it should be equal the same because we have just considered the concept. And 8, and this one is 168, the similar same one. There will be some issue. This one maybe dollar sign have been put wrong, and we'll go here and in the front of G and in between this one, and we'll go here 168. So this is the productivity rates. If you want to apply multiply, so you can use this one. If you want to divide, so you can use this one. So what is crew size? If this set of people 0.5, 10, 5, 0.25 and 1 are two people working, like two sets are working, so this total productivity will be double. So better to increase that productivity, it's better to just divide 17.4 quantity with like 2, because that crew size will be divided always with quantity. Whatever productivity type is hour per unit or unit per hour, so whatever this it will divided by 2. If there we have like 3 set of crews, so we'll divide it by 3. So productivity rate will be, quantity will be reduced, so you can use same productivity rate for that, because this is a single crew. So if we have 3 crew size, we will always divide this quantity with, this is a crew size. Like if we have 3 crew size, we'll divide 17.4 with 3. So it's like crew size will be utilized like that one. So this one is our the BOQ based you can say crew structure. Also the similar we can see here, like we have man hours like this one. This one is non-labor for 0.125, 0.625, 0.125 and 4. This will be also calculated the same one. It's a total hour, like we have calculated 15.402, 4.713. So when we will consider that 1 point, like we have divided here 1.0875. If we consider this one by dividing this one, so total will be also similar 4.713. It will be total will also similar like that one. So you can also create productivity like I have created here. The productivity rate have been finished. Productivity rate I have explained you completely. So how can you add in Primavera P6? If we have a quantity here, ground floor columns, so we after dividing that productivity rate with your quantity, you will get your budgeted units. So what you have to do, the duration type, duration will be fixed and unit will be also fixed, because we have calculated that units in our other that resource loading sheet. So we'll add here a resource like that one. So there is no resource. I will go here in the resources. I will add a resources, like we can consider there will be other project resources we can consider here, mason. So that will not material, we go here in the labor, we convert that one. So doing that one, so your rate should be 0, because this I don't want to assign cost to that type of resource, and go here and add resources. In the mason, I will assign that mason. So here what we have to assign that budget units. If we have 17.4 budget units to perform that job. Also our this original duration is fixed, like we have 5 days to do that one. This one is original duration, budget units, activity plan finish cannot be null. So this one I think so, this is activity type, task dependent, and this we have a start date. We can run the schedule, and like we can go here, assign, add a resource from here as a mason, a resource to the project. We can go here, we can write here we have 80 budget units and 5 days to do that one. So per day it will take 16, when we divide this one, 80 divided by 5, so we have a 16 hour per day, so we require 2 mason per day. It's like that one. So budget units which you have calculated by quantity divided by your productivity rates. So there is clear that in Primavera P6 there is no option for productivity rates, so that's why we are calculating on Excel. So we do not, there is no place to calculate your productivity rates here in your Primavera P6. Maybe in resource assignment you can assign, productivity rate user defined field, and by using global change you can divide your quantity. Also you can assign a quantity column, like you can go here and by assigning a user defined field 2 columns, one is quantity and one is productivity rate. So by using global change you can apply that global change in resource assignment, and you can calculate on the basis of budget units, and that budget units you convert that one into your real resources budget units. So it can be done, but there will be a big mess. So you should, I don't recommend to do that one. So you can calculate that one on your resource loading sheet. That sheet is called also a resource loading sheet. You can calculate that way budget units, and divided by the budget unit we will get from quantity divided by your productivity rate, or quantity to multiply by your productivity rate. If there are crew, you will divide by your crew size, and then you will do that one. So I will go here finalize. my question session, which I have told you in the mid of this video, and I have been asked many questions, so I have written that question to answer that one in my video. I will must answer each and every question. What about equipment resources which we use in parallel to manpower? So if in productivity rate your manpower have been given and your the resources which based on equipment haven't been given. So if in your manpower there is equipment operator have been given in your manpower, so it means that complete resource is utilizing any machine. So that equipment operator, how much machine he will use, so what the hour of that equipment operator will be assigned, so you will assign the similar to that machine. So if there is concrete works, if the concrete mixer will be used, so that equipment operator will be engaged into that machine, so that one you will also add that machine similar and same hour, same equivalent hour to that equipment operator. So if there are vibrator like that one, so equipment operator also there will be some operator for that one to do that one. So to convert like that one, if you haven't so by assuming your labor resources, you can also assume your non-labor resources from there. So that one I have answered you. The first question have been completed. Why the man days multiplied equally for mason and helper? So it's in some places maybe your mason have been not given, so maybe in some resources your one mason and one helper have been given. Why productivity rate same, maybe it's not written, so you have to decide that one, that it should be 0.75 or 1. So you have to decide your aggregate, that how many mason you required to complete that work, and what that mason required, is he requiring one labor or he requiring two labor. So basically it considered that there is not 1.5 type of resource, that how many how can 0.5 people can go to work. So it's like sometime there is a hard work started, so he may require two labors. So maybe in one day instead of doing 16-hour work, there will be 12-hour work for that labor, so it will be 1.5 lakh that one. So it's not necessary there will be one mason and one helper, the helper can be increased that case. So can you please explain our allocation of resources, and to mitigate this our allocation, what should be done do in Primavera P6? So in Primavera P6, what is the resource allocation? So while we have an activity, so in usage profile, so we have a mason here. So what is its our allocation? So we have to see what is our allocation. You can see here that red line is our allocation for mason. So how can we reduce that one? So if a company have been hired, like this one is 30 and this is 40, so this one is up to like we can say 38 hours, and it's more about we have crossed like 68 48 above. So if a mason have been assigned in the resource assignment, there is a mason in resources and its maximum units per time is 8. So if its maximum units per time is like different, when I go here in mason and maximum units per time, if we see here, we'll go here in the time scale and we'll go here week per day. So what it's per day allocation, so we'll consider that one, what is per day allocation. So per day it's 16, it's not our allocated, but in weekly cases it's our allocation. So how can you reduce? So you can go here and you can just increase your maximum, like we can say here 30 mason per day. So when we'll go here in the, you can say here time scale, if you consider for week, month, week, so you can see here now your allocation have been removed from here. So if we go here and if your maximum of allocation is 8, so it will multiply by 8 by working days, like 8 multiply by 6. So if your whole week manpower have been increased that required, like this is a weekly basis, 8 multiply by, also to consider that one weekly, we go here in the admin preferences. So in week there are 60 hours, so it means it's nearly about 48 49. So in weekly cases, so it considering 40 for maximum, maybe the calendar it's using is for 5 day, like if there is calendar for that one, maybe calendar is calendar using is a different, So I will not go to that big mess. Maybe okay, just go that one to clear that concept. So we'll modify that one, and in work week I will say that I will work on Saturdays also. So go here, okay, press okay, and close that one. So we'll consider that one. So also 40 into 30, maybe resources have its own calendar, so maybe this is a calendar issue. If we go here and change it to 12 even, so it will be also impacted here, it will be decreased from here. So the basic concept, what are the resources applied here in the maximum units per time, it depends your or your allocation. So allocation have been decided because this is a weekly chart. If you see that one in your completely week per day, so you have a different answer, like your allocation is different, like you can consider that one per day, it's a different, like your allocation. So also you in the user preferences, you can go here and you can change, you can show the labels, show label. So in the resources, when you see here 12 hour per day is your maximum limit to consume a mason. So it's like that one. Resource allocation is the concept of resource allocation in Primavera P6 is like that one. The maximum units per time you decide in resources will consider your allocation. So you can change that allocation from here if your company have maximum resources. So maybe there is a peak work time, so you have resources may be over allocated. So don't be stressed. Just change the relationship of activities. Your resource will be leveled. So I have answered this one. So what about the remaining budget units for in progress activities not calculated? So why this issue come up, this remaining budget units? So what the people do, like in activities, there the details, when or in the general your percent complete type is physical. What the biggest mistake? But if there is duration, so when you update the duration, the unit, because if your resource curve is not applied in your project, so your duration will be updated, and also your units will be updated similar. So if you have applied here physical, so your remaining units will be for in progress activity will be not updated, because whenever you update physical percent complete for any activity here, so unit percent complete will be not updated. So that's why units percent complete will not also update your remaining units. So you have to do like that one duration. If you updating here physical percent complete, so you have to update the unit percent complete the similar as like physical percent complete. So if you have done 10% here units physical, and also you have to do 10% for also units. So if you do that one, so remaining budget units will be not the issue will be not appear, because remaining budget units will be calculated on the base of your by deducting your actual and your at completion. Because there is an option, you can see here in the projects, there is an option, you can go here in the setting, in calculation there is option how you calculate your remaining units. This is the remaining units. So how it's just subtract actual from at completion, so it will be calculate your remaining. So this one by subtracting from at completion, remaining units will be calculated. So whenever you will update your unit percent complete, so it will be automatically updated. So the issue is that one, if you are using physical percent complete, that is a different topic. Physical percent complete, I will tell you in another video, in detail video, that where it should be used and why it should be not used in the physical it's a performance PMS, you can say, as a progress measurement system. I will explain in another video. The video will be lengthy, but I will answer all the questions. What about the delay work or additional activities initiated due to bad weather effects? So if there are bad weather effects, so your resources will be impacted that one. So you can apply a factor like you can decrease your productivity by 20%. So if you want to decrease your productivity by 20%, you can divide your productivity with 1.20%, 20. So that is the factor. If your productivity is affected by 15%, you can divide by 1.15. Can you explain resource leveling? Please explain how can you perform at our project, because sometimes contractor asks uniform resources at the project. That contractor do not want peak man-hour allocation. So it's like that one. Maybe in projects, your contractor do not want to deploy too much manpower on the site, because there is some stage is where the project have you can say so there are two type of S curve. One is backloaded, one is front loaded. So maybe if you consider as a backloaded, so maybe some peaks where you require resource allocation higher. So it's how can you perform resource leveling, because at that stage the contractor do not want to deploy that manpower. So Primavera P6 is basically time based, because whenever your project have been assigned, there will be some time frame. Like if you have been assigned a project, nobody will say you that you have to consume 20 or 30 man days, 20 man days a daily, and you have to do that project. Nobody and no client will say you that one. They will give you project on the basis of duration. So they will say you that this is working duration, this is a 1095 days project, and including your non-working days. So they will not say that, they will say that only calendar days. What they will not say that this is working days, this is non-working days. The client do not have any concern with your calendar even. So client will give you only 3 years, like 1095 days project. So you have to just plus that one in your start date, and your finish date will be appear. You have to plan that complete project in that one. So you have to design that project. You have to prepare the plan of project in the form of critical path, and that critical path is the basic. So after that critical path, your resource is constrained. So resource constraint, where your activity is appearing, you have to apply that resources. So contractor is always asking that how to do that resource leveling, please perform resource leveling. So maybe consultant is asking to deploy this manpower, so he is requiring this manpower. I will also answer a question the similar that one in the below. So I will go here in the Primavera P6 how to do that resource leveling. You can just on non-critical activities, if the budgeted units have been assigned, like I will explain you verbally because we don't have time to explain everything here. So resource leveling I will explain in another video. There are two type of resource leveling. One is manual leveling and one is automatic leveling. So automatic leveling have been given in Primavera P6, and in that type of automatic leveling, so there will be no relationship if involved. So we can assign priority, we can assign the total float type. So you can do that one resource leveling from that place. If you want to do manually, so you have to remove all your group and sort. So you have to just see which month have a lot of resource allocation. For example, October have resource a lot of allocation. So you can shift by assigning a lag or changing the relationship to shift that manpower to next month. So if you change your activities relationship, and if you move ahead activities or behind that activities, so your over allocation, not over allocation, you can also say over allocation. So your peak resources will be reduced from that one. So also it's also our allocation from the limited, also you can say that one. So you can perform that resource leveling for that one. One is manual and one is by using Primavera P6. So Primavera P6 or any scheduling, this type of method is resource constraint. So you have to change your duration for that one. So is there any standardization for manpower and productivity norms? So there is no standard. So the question answer is there is no standard. Some people have research on that one, manpower productivity rates. So how to improve accuracy level of productivity rates? So to improve accuracy of productivity levels, you have to just visit your site, and you have to just record their daily on the basis of months, by weather changes, on the basis of occasions. So you can make an average for that specific company and for that specific region and for that specific company only. So there is something I will add here. So if you have a QS here add, and you have bid for some specific quantity, and that time you have considered some productivity rates and you have applied by rate analysis. So in that rate analysis, if you have some productivity rates have been already budgeted, so you can use that one, because in the rates you have used maybe one mason, one labor, and one another team. So you can consume that one and you can use that productivity rates. It will be more convenient to just do a cost control also. So what the next question is, how can we reflect the cost related to engineering work? I have already explained you that engineering work have been already assigned with units, so the productivity rate have been given. So what are the project setting before cost and resource loading? So before cost and resource loading, what the setting is important what I consider in the user preferences, in the unit format it should be hours, so this should not be changed from here. This is the basic setting I consider, and also the calendar should be assigned to the activities, it should be right. And also in the projects, what the setting I will consider here, like in what the project we are doing. And in the, you can see here in the calculation, so here we can recalculate on the basis of, because when assigning a cost we need to recalculate our cost after if our units have been changed, so our cost should be recalculated. So also we have to check update units when cost changes. So if you are just tracking your cost from your units, it's reverse, so you can check this one, but don't check this one in that case, which it is used normally. So this is project setting, it's must while you are taking. Also one setting I will consider admin preferences, or one this type of calendar, this is the fixed type of calendar for resource assignment, this time scale, so how many hours per week and how many hours per day and how many hours per month, so it should be calculated here. So what the next question is, resource allocation discussion on time intervals. So in resource assignment there are time interval, like this one is January, February, March, April. So this one 17 and 80 is what the unit is, user preferences will go here. And if we show the labels, like we can show the labels here, and if we go here and if we want to show the labels here, 7 hour, so these are budgeted units and these are budgeted units. So budgeted units are in hours, 17 hour and 80 hours. So if I want to convert that one hour into month, this is man month, how many month required. So I don't require any month. So if I want to change that one into week, so if we consider here week, also if I want to change that one week, so I will also change the my interval to also week, month, week, apply here. So we'll go here and see here, this one week required, like this one. Similarly, like this mason will be required, what the resource have been assigned for whole 1 week, like if it started from first day of the week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it's like that one. So because that one we have to change user preferences into week here. So if we consider day, so how many day it will work, so it will consider 6 day work, like 6 man days work for a week. So it will not like 6 per day, it's like completely at the end of the week there will be 6. So there is another option, like if you go here in spreadsheet option, so you can divide interval with total. So if you assign this on basic, so it will be automatically divided by 6. So it will automatically answer by 1. So you can also customize, like if there are 5 working days, so you can assign here 5 days. So from where this custom value have been like before it was 1, when after assigning based on hours, so it automatically appears 6 from where it have been taken, like that one. So you can see here when I have go in admin preferences, and there will be option like 6 per hour, per day there are 10 hours, so there are 60 divided by 10, so we have 6 days in a week, so it's considering like that one. So it get this value from here always when you using from spread option, so it always get from here. So what the next question is, is there any like coefficient for weather? So you can use coefficient in your project in anywhere and any location for productivity rates. You can decide with your project manager and with your consultant that what is your coefficient. Some projects are bid on based on man hours or man days. How can we accurately monitor them by using productivity rates? So if some products are bid on basis of manpower or man days, and the cost has been hidden by the company, so that man hours and man days you will convert that one into crews. Like we have available man hours, so you can divide with your crew size like 0.75 welder, so you have a helper, welder, helper, so you divide by 1, so it will create a crew from that one man hour, so that man hour will be fixed and that will be used for your PMS also. Why consultants or client or employee always required a resource loaded schedule, and after providing that resource loaded schedule, why does he require productivity rate? How they will review and check schedule, what can be comments, can they ask for any standard rates, what areas they may comment or disagree, or if you are a consultant, what should be your comments while you are reviewing resource loaded schedule, where contractor may put a wrong resource allocation, how can you identify, how you will comment, what additional information may you require to review. So there will be this question is very just a big question. I will answer that one. So why client required resource loaded schedule? So the client because nowadays practice they consider that scheduling is very easy, and after assigning critical path, so he want to know that how much manpower he will deploy after committing on a baseline, like after committing on the finish date of the project, how much manpower he required. So they required a resource allocation. So after that one resource allocation, they required productivity rate. So sometimes it's like that one. So contractor make a bid, and in that bid, what he do, like just they do like they assign some dummy manpower. Like if a project have a 1 year work and there is a 50 million cost of that one, 50 million SAR, or if there's 50 million of dollars, so what he will do, that he say that I have a peak hour of 600 man days, so he will just create a backloaded or front loaded or a triangular shape curved resource allocation, and he will assign some dummy resource allocation. So after doing that one, because resource allocation will be created anywhere, so you can do that one easily from anywhere. You can assign any coefficient, you can create any curve. So client required productivity rates, that how you calculated this man hour you required. So he want to know actual man hour you required, or actual man days, or actual man month, or actual man weeks you required on that project. So what the time scale he is following, he will see that by dividing your productivity rate or by multiplying your productivity rate, you want to see that what the productivity rate you have applied, is this maximum the limit, is the average the limit, is it low the limit, so what you have applied. So he cannot restrict you that this productivity rate should be this one. So he want to see that if there is not illogical productivity rate applied on that project, or if this guy is just using a dummy productivity rate, what he is doing. So he want to review that one. How they will review and check? So they will review like they can be review from the rate analysis, they can review from any standard international rates. So also they have a common sense expert judgment. So also they know how much, if there is 100 cubic meter work, so how many people they will perform. So they will be roughly checked, because a productivity rate, there will be not a huge list for that project. Maybe there are 100 and 200, 300 rows. So it can be easily checked in maybe 2 or 3 days. So what can be comments? So they can be comments that if their productivity rate is unrealistic, so they can comment that this productivity rate have been exceeded than the limit. So if there is very slow productivity rate, so he can also ask that your productivity rate is very low and you have applied very low coefficient for that one. So increase your productivity rate. So if there are limits are not okay, if there is slower then slower, and if they are faster then faster your productivity rate, so he can ask you to change that productivity rates, because he can maybe assume that if there is work like concrete work, it required more resources, and maybe he can also comment you that you haven't applied non-labor resources. So there may be a lot of comments like that one. Can they ask for any standard productivity rates? So they may be asked that what productivity rate have been used, because if you don't want to consume too much time, so they will ask you that which standard productivity rate you have used, because maybe they want to check that this guy may be assuming something like that one, which standard productivity rate he is using, because this bank which I have already rate productivity rates, so this is the mostly used anywhere. So maybe somebody have some personal work and they have created that one, but it will be similar to that one which I have collected here. What areas they may comment or disagree, I have already told you. Or if you are a consultant, what should be your comments? So if I am a consultant and if we are consultant, what our comments should be on that one. So we will also review the same as I told you, that we will review with the standard productivity rates, and we will see that if there is a higher productivity rate or low productivity are not applied, so there will be some average productivity rate applied on the project. So resource allocation should be not wrong. Also, productivity rate should be complete and are in the form of crews, and all the crews should be managed there. How can you identify and how you will comment? So comment will be like similar. What additional information may you require to review? Additional information will require productivity rates, resource loading sheet, maybe duration calculation if you want to comparison with the duration. Can we provide only man hour instead of providing crews or each manpower details? So if you want to hide that how many crew we require to, if you are a contractor, you want to hide that how many mason, labor and non-labor you required on that product, and specifically by namely any resource you want to require. So you want to only show your manpower, that I need only 20 manpower for that day, 30 manpower for that one. Can we use? You can use if your consultant allow. So maybe some contractor just do like that and to manipulate, like if there is fit out work, if there is some work which do not have a specific crew structure, so they don't want to just reveal that one because that work do not have a specific crew. So there will be a lot of crew and a lot of people involved that are different trades, so they do not want to put it like that on, so they want to just calculate the man hours. So it cannot be easily reviewed, but the contractor have to show some evidence to how manpower have been calculated for each type of crew and each type of the work. If we don't have any quantities for any activities, how will we be estimated the budget units? What will be its productivity rate? What is the correct method to do that one? So if you don't have any quantities for any activities, how will you estimate? So if you don't have any quantity, you cannot be estimate your productivity units, because quantity is the fixed by dividing your productivity rates. So after that one, you can calculate your budget units. So what if we apply weights to different WBS activities and apply units and according to their weights? So what the weight concept? Weight concept is just related to the cost. So it's not related to the units. So weight concept is related to cost. How the people calculate the weights, and what the weight concept is basically, if you have a 100 million project, so if you have assigned 80% to the construction activity, 80 million of the work, so that's based on the cost. So it's not mean that if there is a higher cost of an activity and there should be higher labor deployed for that one. Maybe there is an activity which have a higher material cost and lower labor cost. Maybe an activity have 10% labor cost and other activity have 30% labor cost. So there may be different ratio of the unit labor and cost. So you cannot apply weights of cost in your labor. So maybe in the procurement there is no labor applied, and in engineering there is not too much type of manpower applied, but there is higher productivity, higher cost percentages, so you cannot deploy manpower there. So it's not dependent about the weights. So if you have different weights and you apply top down estimation and you apply whole project with man hours, so it's not a good practice, and I do not recommend that one. So by applying your you can apply if you have like an activity is a concrete activity and you know that this project have this quantity of concrete and this type of weight will be applied. So total concrete, like if we have 100,000 cubic meter concrete and if we have 10 activities like that one, so we convert that one to weight, to different weights. So we can convert that one to different categories, and in that categories we can weight whole the project with the different percentages. So you can do that one by assigning activity codes and you can apply the weight in that condition. But I do not recommend for using cost weight to apply your units hour to your project. So I will not recommend that practice. What will be happen if we approve a wrong productivity rates, or we have wrong productivity rates and resource allocation in baseline? Can we correct? What is the method to correct it? Is it possible to make it correct? So it's like that one. After some time, maybe your productivity rate is less, maybe your resource allocation are less required, and you are monitoring your project, and actually on the side you have required more manpower, and your consultant and client is following your resource allocation. They see that this guy, if there are maximum assigned, so they see that 300 people are required, but there is no space to apply that 300 people. So the work is going on as per critical path and longest path and following exactly the same as schedule, but it's not usually you follow exact schedule. But if you are following exact schedule and your resource allocation is not meeting that one, there it's not possible to deploy 300 people, or if it's lower than what you are just doing on the site. So if it's lower and higher, so is there any method to change your baseline? Because in the baseline what we approved mostly, so in the baseline we approved the quality checks and the timeline. So when it's considered about the claim for the delay and for the delay events claim, so you consider the duration, and also you consider the relationship, and also you consider the completion and the activity start and finish. So you can change your resources for that one. So resource allocation can be revised. You can request your because resource allocation is not directly linked with because Primavera P6 schedule is not a resource based scheduling. It's a critical path based and EVM in the case of monitoring, and it's not a resource constraint scheduling. So you can revise that one. You can request from your client and consultant, so you can make another revision. So in that revision you can change your resource allocation and you can resubmit, and you can just monitor that one. So you can also update the actual in each monthly or weekly what the interval have been decided with your client. What type of budget units we calculate, direct or indirect resources? Y over manpower S curve or histogram actual increases. So maybe in your general monitoring of direct resources, like in some contract people do like that one, engineers do like that, and they add everything in the direct resources and indirect. If there is a kitchen team is working on site, if there is a security person is working on site, they include that one directly. So after doing that one directly, so they just calculate total directly and apply to that specific activity as an actual. So if you apply the same and in your manpower histogram, or you are applying in the activity actuals the same one, so your actual will be increased, because while you have planned for the budget on the basis of quantity, you haven't considered kitchen staff or security as a crew of your considering. So that one is indirectly. So while considering direct or indirect, may consider that what the productivity rate type have been applied and what the exactly crew you have been decided, and the same crew should be applied. And while you operate in actual units, you should consider the same one. And how we will update our actual resources in Primavera P6, where to update, and what is the correct method to update it. So update resources, you use direct resources from your daily progress report. If you are just updating on the base of weekly, so you will also update on the base of weekly. For example, 3 activities have been done in the week, so you will divide that 3 activities with the same leg dates. If there is an activity started in first 2 days, so you will apply like 2 days manpower in it, and if there is parallel partial, you will also convert that in partial. In Primavera P6 you will update here in the actual units, like in the resources, and you can go here in the resources and you will what resource have been assigned. If an activity have been assigned like this one, ground floor slab, so in ground floor slab you can also add here an actual units column, and I will go here ground floor slab. If there is ground floor slab, so this will here you will add here an actual units column, and you will update the hours. So if you are monitoring with days, so you can go here in the edit and user preferences, you can change from here unit into days. So you want to apply for the day. If you want to apply for the week, you also change from there. Should we apply the resource curve at our project? If we apply, then why we should apply, and if not apply, why we should not apply. So resource curve, you have been listen anywhere that resource curve apply. So if your contractor do not want to start the work very speedily, so they will apply the S curve, the resource curve. The resource curve can be from many type, back loaded, front loaded. So there will be an option in Primavera P6 of the resource curves, like you can see here resource curves are different types, back loaded, bell shaped, front loaded, linear. So if you applied like that one, so your resource will be started low. Like if you consider that if there is a back loaded, so if there is 3.5, it's the percentage is 3.5, 3.5, 3.5 and 6.5, 6.5. So your whole budget units, this one is if your whole budget units are 100 in number, so it will be just started slowly, and after that one it will be increased. So when you update your unit percent complete, it will be you have to update separately. So when you update duration percent complete here, so unit percent will be not similarly updated. Also if there is a cost assigned to that, like if there in a resource, if in that resource have curve applied which have a cost, so your schedule percent complete at the top will be different, so it will be also changed. So if a cost material resource have been applied and that have a curve like backloaded or front loaded, so also schedule percent complete will be affected from that one. So the next one, how consultant and client even the contractor should monitor project resource allocation, which quantity will be monitored, budget units, remaining units, remaining early units and remaining late units, what if there are delays. So the question is very specific, what type of resource allocation the client should be monitoring. So what the client do, the similar like the baseline have been submitted, and with that baseline submission there is a resource allocation submitted. So if the 5 month and 6 month have been passed, so there are delay on that project, so he just keep monitoring that the same resource allocation. But if their project have a 40 days or 50-day delay, so how can that same resource allocation can be implemented? So in Primavera P6 in the resource assignment there will be no baseline type of budget units. So what he will consider? So he will consider remaining early units. He will consider remaining early units for that one. So he may ask from the contractor, please submit remaining early units. So he will not monitor even budget units from the updated schedule. He will not even monitor from that one. Even he will not monitor baseline budget units, because that allocation will be not similar if their project have been delayed 40-30 days. So the same resource allocation cannot be implemented. The same type of or same number of people cannot be implemented in that day. So that day will be changed. For example, there is month of January or February, it's continued. So the project have been delayed for 30 or 40 days. So the same which you have presented resource allocation for the baseline, it will be not implemented. Even the updated schedule will be not implemented. But you, because in that stage, budget units will be also like the similar, but maybe some activities are in progress. So also budget units have all completely, budget units have completely, for example, if activity is in progress, so budget units will also show the all quantity of that activity in that specific interval. So you have to see remaining. For example, this activity have been started already. This activity, there is activity. This activity is started. So budget unit will be same if there is started in progress. Budget unit will be same. So you have to assign here remaining units. So you have to see here remaining units to monitor what the resource allocation will be applied. So also similar for activities and resource usage profile, you need a remaining early units to see that how many units you required and how many people you required in that specific month. So in mitigation measure or whatever you will apply later on, so it's not any concern with that one. So what are crews, where we should use crews, and is it really important to use them? How do you define? So I already explained you about the crews too much, so I will not explain you here. The contractor, when making recovery schedule and resource loading schedule, I see productivity rate increase while the resource or working hour decrease. Is it dependent on duration type? How to increase resource for that? And it is important. So people think that when we are just creating, and engineers think that we are creating a resource schedule, recovery schedule or a revised schedule. So in that case, your resource loading or your completely resources will be increased. So whatever, your duration is fixed. What I will talk, the duration is fixed, and also your budget units is fixed. If you change duration from here, if I change from here, you can see here budget units per time will be increased. So what you can see here, 3 days per day. So that one budget units have increased while I decreased duration. That is crashing technique. When you apply crashing technique by decreasing duration, so automatically budget units per time have been increased. No need to change your budget units, because these budget units have been calculated on the base of quantity. So the quantity is similar. Quantity of the project have been similar. So in some cases, maybe working on one place and decreasing the days and applying more crews on that one, on that project, and increasing more manpower. So maybe there decrease in productivity rate. So you can also divide it by 1.15, 15% or 10%. Your productivity rate will be decreased. So you require maybe your budget units change at that stage, but your total budget units cannot be changed. It should not be changed. So if you want to change that one, so there will be some coefficient, like you can multiply by 1.10 with your total budget units. So your budget units will be increased for the remaining activities at that project. But it's not logical that if your quantity is the same and your budget units are just going to be changed, because productivity rate is same. So if your productivity rate have been affected due to increase of crews, so you can apply it with a coefficient for that purpose. So whenever you change your duration here, if you change the relationship, or if you change duration, duration 3 days or 4 days, 5 days, so your budget units will be increased from here. So what is the next question? And the video is just going to be too far, but I will complete that one. Is the daily budget unit must be linear distribution of units as per duration, or the P6 will assign it every day and determine it daily budget units? So the question is like that one, it should be linear or not linear, as I applied tell you about the resource curves. So it's similar that it should be linear or it should not be linear, like it's backloaded. I will recommend as a linear. From first day it should be 8, 8, 8, 8 if you want to just change. At the end should be backloaded. If you want to apply, you can apply backloaded, but I will say that uniformly distribute your whole budget units to till your duration. For example, this activity have duration 24 October to 26. So uniformly distribute that total 10 hour per day, like 10 days. It's like 10 days from user preferences. I will change from here, and this is total 80 hours. So you convert that 80 hours to 3 days. So it's like that one. I will just say that uniformly consider, do not apply any resource curve on that project. So material shop drawing submission can be monitored using Excel spreadsheet and with weights for submission. So it's asking that material submission and shop drawing, they may be not required units. So how can we measure that one? So that can be measured by there are other like duration and physical. You can do not apply physical, apply duration, because if you short the duration, so your project have your critical paths will be recovered and your project will be recovered, because most of material and shop drawing is dependent on your construction work. So how we can assign weights in engineering activities? So to assign weight in engineering activities is better idea to by comparing with cost. Because labor, I have also given you engineering activities rate, so you can also consider that one. Is it really required to do cost and resource loading for the lump sum contract? So if there are lump sum contract, you can calculate your quantities for that lump sum contract, because if you calculate your quantities, so you will know that how many resources you will have to apply that project, and you will have an idea to when you will complete. So if there is lump sum type of contract, so you need to just evaluate your project, and you have to analyze what the quantities you required, and on that quantities based how many productivity rates and what the productivity rates you will applied, and also what the crew structure you will apply. So you have to calculate that one to measure your project, and to cost control and your resource allocation, what the constraint of resource allocation have been implemented on your project, you need to know. And also maybe your client and consultant need to know that can we assign resource by duration, like fixed units per time. If we have a fixed duration, how can we apply productivity to them? So if you have a fixed duration, if you have a if we have a fixed duration, can we apply units per time? Like there is an option in Primavera P6 that is budgeted units per time. Can we just apply like we don't calculate this budgeted units? We don't need any budgeted productivity rate. We don't have any quantity. So can we apply that one? It's not like that one. So if you don't know what the quantity is, so how can you apply like freely? Like I will apply 2 mason and 1 labor per day, or 3 mason and 6 mason per day. It's not logically that you will apply randomly some manpower for that one. So there should be some plan, and there should be some limit of budget units. So how many budget units you have planned totally? So you will convert that for 3 days I require this one. So in first 2 days I require this one, and third day I require this one. So you cannot apply it. But in some cases maybe the work is maintenance work, and the client is requesting that I need 1 people and 2 people for daily cleaning. So you in that case you can go here in the general, and you can change from here duration type to duration, and units per time should be fixed. In that case you do not need the productivity rates. There will be some work maybe client need for punch listing, and some people will be deployed for the site. They will be do cleaning and they have to maintenance. There will be no productivity rate for that one. So you can use in that case only. Maybe in engineering works, at some places there are 28 days works, you are applying paying salary to any indirect manpower, so you can apply in that case this one also. If you haven't any productivity rate, so you can apply your budget units per time. And what the next question is, how can we monitor our resource performances and keep tracking to get their productivity rates? So how to monitor that one? So you have submitted with the daily progress reports, and by daily progress report you can see that how many crews work on that site and which location they have worked. So you can create a sheet by location wise, and you can create the sheet by zone wise, and also convert that how many quantity you have worked. So and in the daily progress report there should be some quantity of the work have been written. It should be specific, and the shop drawing have been given on the site, and also the QS should be involved. So he should also always, or before the project, he should just divide and distribute the quantities of the project, and after doing the work, so you should know that how many quantity of work have been done. So also there are subcontractors working on the site, they know that how many quantity work we have done. Also in some places manpower have been decided, and mason and labor have been fixed that how many work they have to do in the day. After doing that one, they are free. For example, there are 8 hours, they have to perform 75 square meter of the plaster. If they 75 square feet of the plaster, you can say 10 square meter in a day of the plaster, they have to do that one. So if they completed that one in 6 hours, they need to go at home and they can rest. So in some places there is like that, there is fixed productivity for them. So it's like that one, similar places. So you can measure after watching your daily progress report, the quantity of the report should be written at the end of that one. And what the next question, how to collect productivity rates from field? Is there any best way to monitor them? So you can calculate it from daily progress report, and you can assign someone who can monitor that one, and he can give you an accurate data. So it's about the site communication, how you do site communication. So how can we track lost man hours as per plant productivity rates and resource loading in Primavera P6? So how can you calculate? So to calculate man hours, your budgeted unit should be accurate in Primavera P6. Accurate means that productivity rate have been applied something really precisely and as per your BOQ. And in BOQ, your rate analysis have been given, and in rate analysis, like in my sheets, there is a rate analysis. Like I can see here, if I see here in PDF sheet in Excel, in their civil rates, if we have a farm work and shuttering work, and if in reinforcement, farm work and shuttering work, we have not we can say here, if we have a building works. So this one, in productivity rates, we applied this one for our rate analysis, and we have bid for a project that may be EPCC project, but we can consider that one, we have some quantities. Before bidding for that one, we have calculated each quantity. So this one productivity rate we have used. If we have waterproofing membrane, so we will utilize that one. So we can have an accurate cost for that one, and we have an accurate as per our rate analysis, we have an accurate manpower. This is manpower, this is their crew crew ratio, and this is quantity of work they will done, and this is 8 hours. So it's the similar which sheets I haven't explained you. So you will check this one sheet, we will also understand from there. This format I have been also attached, so you can see that format. Also productivity also I have given productivity units have been given. That's unit per hour, units per day have been assigned. So you will divide with the quantities, you will get your man days from here. So you will get, and you can import in your schedule. So this schedule you can import here. And what the loss is, how can we track loss? So how can you track, for example, if you have a budget 80, so you will assign actual like 100. If you assign actual, so you have been increased by 20 hours as you have planned. So these are your loss hours. So you have to track that how many hours you have lost. But before that one, you need to know that what are your actual planned as per your contract, and how many hours you have lost for that one. Due to delays, in some cases this is happened. So these are direct, and you have to also calculate for the indirect, because indirect are the most affected in the during claims, because indirect manpower are getting salaries on the base of months. So it's more effective than your direct resources. So this is my today's content related to productivity rates and resource allocation and resource loading in Primavera P6. If you like my video, you can comment, like and share and comment in my video. If you have still any question, you can write in my comments. I will answer maybe in another video or maybe in comments of this video. If you have any other question, you can text us on WhatsApp number have been given in the description of this video and at the end of this video. And also you can email us and you will also contact us through our website. We will meet in the next video. Thanks for watching Softedemy. We will meet in the next video.